Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Town of Lexington's Planning Commission meeting. This is our normal monthly meeting and is being held at Town Hall, 8 a.m. Wednesday, February 22nd, 2017. The meeting is being broadcast live, and a recording will be aired on the town's informational channel several times during the week. I'm Keith Frost, the Commission Chair, and I'll ask the other members to please introduce themselves.
Good morning, I'm Frank Berry.
Good morning, Roscoe Kaufman.
Good morning, I'm Brian Amy.
Good morning, I'm Lisa Gibson.
Good morning, I'm Jamie Fight.
Good morning, I'm John Bartlett.
Good morning, I'm Jeannie Michaels.
Good morning, I'm Brooke Poole, Town Administrator.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Manis, Town Council.
Good morning, I'm Brad Cunningham, Town Attorney.
Good morning, Charlie Thomas, Building Official.
Rosemary Musa, Planning, Building, and Technology.
Randy Edwards, Director of Transportation. Good morning, I'm John Hanson, Planning Director.
Good morning, I'm Ron Wade, Town Council.
I'm Keenan Henry, the Assistant Municipal Clerk.
All right, at this time, I'll ask Vice Chair Berry if he will lead us in invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this changing of the seasons. Be with this body as we plan the future of this town, as it continues to grow. Be with those who protect our country every day for us to be free. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make sure the seasons change.
All right, at this time, we'll call the meeting to order. There are no deletions or changes to our agenda this morning. The first item of business is the approval of our meeting minutes from January 18th, 2017. You've received those in your packet. Do we have?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you very much. All right, first item of business for this morning is annexation of property at 108 Tom Corley Place. John?
Good morning. MWK Properties owns .62 acres located at 108 Tom Corley Place and has petitioned to annex the property. An office building is located on the site. Properties in town near this one are zoned general commercial, and Tom Corley Place is classified as a local road. Due to surrounding conditions and the use of the property, the same zoning and road classification is recommended for this parcel.
All right, any discussion? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion? Second. All right, thank you, John. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, next item is annexation of 105 Pilgrim Point Drive.
Linda and George G. own a lot located at 105 Pilgrim Point Drive and have petitioned to annex the property. Properties in town near this one are zoned protected residential, and Pilgrim Point Drive is classified as an RL6 road. And due to the surrounding conditions and the use of the property, the same zoning and road classification is recommended for this property.
All right, any questions?
About how many more are left after this one?
I think it's 2 or 3.
Just curious.
Yeah, it's
Motion
2.
approved.
All right,
Second.
all right, we got a motion. And a second, who is it? Is that Roscoe?
Roscoe.
All right. All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, that is unanimous. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Next item is annexation of 5205 Augusta Road.
George Lynn Addy owns 3.8 acres located at 5205 Augusta Road and has petitioned to annex the property. Properties in town near this one are zoned general commercial and high-density residential. Augusta Road is classified as an arterial road, and Carlin Avenue is classified as a local road. Due to the surrounding conditions and the use of the property, the recommended zoning is general commercial, and the recommended classification of both roads are to stay the same.
Okay. All right, any questions? We have a motion?
Motion approved.
We have a motion. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, thank you. All right, next, job of annexation of property on Old Cherokee and Fox Glen.
Those were the easy ones. Now we're gonna get a little more meat to the, Mount Horeb, United Methodist Church owns 87.7 acres on 5 parcels located at 1205 Old Cherokee Road and has petitioned to annex the property. Properties in town near this one are zoned protected residential and protected residential 2. Old Cherokee Road is classified as a collector road and Fox Glen does not have a classification yet. Due to the surrounding conditions, the use of the property, and the additional land available to expand the current activities, the recommended zoning is general commercial. The recommended classification of Old Cherokee Road is a collector, and the recommended classification of Fox Glen Road is a local road.
Okay, any discussion? I will put out there my 2 cents worth for the record. There's a lot of undeveloped property associated with the church. However, the surrounding conditions other than the daycare adjacent to this property is primarily residential. And I have a concern with general commercial in this area. And I think limited commercial would be sufficient and provide the church the room that it needs to grow in the near future. And if they ever get to the point where they're going to have 5,000 people there, we can consider rezoning at that time. It should be necessary. But that's just my thought. And I'm not sure that the church has a strong sentiment either way. I think at this point they're just looking for the annexation and aren't really overly concerned with the designation. So for the good of the group, that's my thought. Any further discussion?
I agree with you, and so I'm gonna make the motion that we go to limited commercial and the road classifications as stated.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
So will the town take over the Fox Glen Road then if we're?
Well, I guess, I don't know, well, we don't really take over any of the roads. I guess those are all
Yeah.
county and state
That's still-
maintained, so
Yeah.
it would be in the town, but they wouldn't take it over. Randy wouldn't necessarily be out there fixing potholes.
So I was gonna
There's
say,
a lot to fix.
That's a pothole road.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Something I just thought of. Does limited commercial affect the church's ability for signage?
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that is unanimous. Thank you very much.
If you agreed with all my recommendations, there wouldn't be any reason to be here.
It's job security time.
Good intention.
All right, final plat approval for Dove Chase.
Land Tech Incorporated has requested final plat approval for Dove Chase Phases 1, 2A, and 2B. Phase 1 consists of 26 lots, Phase 2A consists of 17 lots, and Phase 2B consists of 9 lots. These phases include installation of sidewalks, a neighborhood walking trail constructed of landscape timbers and wood chips, a gazebo, and a playground. When completed, the neighborhood is intended to have a total of 100 lots. And all of those amenities, as stated in my write-up, have been installed.
Okay, so everything has been completed from the green space and activities that we were expecting based on his initial submittal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I assume, is there anyone here from Land Tech?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, well, I hate that. I did want to inquire about the status of other projects in town that seem to be lingering unfinished and uncompleted, but I guess we'll address that at a later point. Any questions from the commission?
Is that the final phase?
No, sir, this is just the first 3 phases.
That's right.
Yes, they have other ones that they're expanding into.
On this particular.
On this project, yes, sir.
Yeah, it looks like one more piece.
This particular developer uses a lot of phases in their projects.
Which will be adjacent to the property we just discussed with the church. Next phases will back up to those pieces.
Portions of the ones that we're talking about now also.
Also do, yes. All right, any further discussion? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion for final plat approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you very much, Shane. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, last item on our agenda for business is site plan approval for athletic fields at Northside Baptist. John?
And Northside Baptist Church has requested site plan approval for a planned expansion of their athletic fields on Jenny Lane. Project will be developed in 3 phases, beginning with a concession stand and a baseball field. Future phases will include the development of a football field with a track, 5 soccer fields, a softball field, a sports pavilion, and associated parking. It's my understanding that prior to the development of the new parking lots, parking at the school will be utilized. The submitted plan does not include sidewalks on Jenny Lane, information about the planned number of participants, the total number of parking spaces being proposed, or depict a connection back to the existing parking at the school. Now, when I wrote this, some of this has been resolved or has been fixed, resubmitted, so that Northside can address those issues. Additionally, given the traffic concerns that already exist in this area, the commission may want to consider requesting a traffic impact study for this project, so any needed improvements to Jenny Lane may be considered. We do have representatives from Northside here to discuss the project.
All right. All right, thank you. Please come forward and introduce yourself, whoever's going to speak on behalf of the church.
I'm Gerald Lennon with Pace Engineering.
Good morning, I'm Scott Creed with Northside Baptist Church.
Mark Horn with Northside Baptist Church.
Okay. And I guess I'll start. I've got just a couple of questions. I noticed on your plan here, you've got 3 phases to it, and the first phase including the baseball field and concession stands, but none of the parking is going to be built. Exactly how are people going to park at the church and get to the baseball field?
Well, first you got to understand that that area is already used for sports there. There are soccer games on Saturdays there. It's already a sports complex. There's already a drive in there, and parking is wherever it's on the fields, wherever it's allowed. There's 20 acres of field space in there now before the project starts. The baseball field is nearly finished. The football field's approved for construction, so we're that far along. And actually, we'll have more than 3 phases, but the first 2 were the baseball and football. So parking for the football was approved to be on the soccer field area and other open areas that are there. Now we're coming with phase 3, which will be the first designated parking spot, and we did show that for the peak usage, we'll have enough spaces designated in that parking lot. That's on the master plan.
And that's with phase 3, you said?
That includes the peak usage, a phase 3 plan, which includes regrading the soccer fields. And yes, we do meet the requirements, I think, John. I used the peak usage.
Based on what you submitted to me after we submitted it to them, it would appear that
Peak usage is soccer on Saturday morning.
So has there been any studies or research done on what kind of traffic will be coming during the rush hour times on Jenny Lane? The extra traffic that there might be to come to some of your morning or afternoon or evening games?
Nothing specific.
Nothing.
Soccer is the, would appear to be
It's
the
the main.
peak usage, and it's always Saturday, is that right? Always Saturday.
But football games and that kind of
Would
thing,
be-
if you build that, there'll be some extra traffic at, I don't know, at peak times on a weekday, potentially?
Evenings, the games would probably start at 6 or 7, 7:30 games, so that there, seems like there'd be,
Yeah.
likely be little traffic during the weekday hours.
Did I hear you to say you're almost finished with the baseball field?
Right.
Okay, and we're just seeing this?
Pardon me?
And we're just seeing this? Your site plan?
Well,
I guess I'm just asking from a procedural standpoint.
well,
That seems a
no,
little
we've been in
different.
touch and gone through the proper process on both football and baseball, but when we reached the point of the third phase, which included the soccer fields and the parking, staff pointed out that we needed to go through a master plan
Okay.
procedure.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? So just, I'm going to make sure, that there's going to be ample parking, I guess, in the field beside the baseball field so that we don't have to be concerned with parking alongside of Jenny Lane. That's my big concern is that's a narrow road that already has traffic issues. We don't want people parking on the side of the road.
That should be the case. There's parking, if you've seen the master plan, there's parking proposed on the right as you come in.
Mhm.
No one's gonna wanna park on Jenny Lane. It's not an easy walk into the site from there.
Okay. And you're only proposing one access to this entire
The
complex?
existing, continue the existing.
Okay.
We're, DOT has asked that we upgrade that entrance, and we're applying to them to pave a new entrance there.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, do we need to request a traffic study?
Yeah, and I think based on what he said, I mean, given the times that you're looking at activities at this place, which would be outside of school hours, I think that would be the main concern is potential conflicts with school traffic. And if there's none, I surely don't imagine that this complex will generate near the amount of traffic and congestion that the two schools that were built on that road would. So I'm not so sure if that didn't require a traffic study, I'm not sure this should either.
Okay.
Let me just make sure I understand. So the baseball field and football field were approved at the staff level, and they're just bringing this back as this overall
Yes, sir.
master plan because of the other items being added. Okay.
Are sidewalks needed or not needed?
Sidewalks will be required.
And there
On
are,
Jenny Lane, there is already a sidewalk on the north side. Boulevard.
and it's shown here on this revised drawing, isn't it?
No.
Is it not shown here?
No,
Okay, I
it
can't
may
see
be
it. My
that-
eyes are not that
It
good.
may be best that we just pay the fee,
Okay,
the sidewalk fee.
okay. All right.
And one entrance and exit is sufficient? Peak hours look like they might go in and out a little bit.
Don't they play currently at the middle school on Thursdays or Wednesdays, football?
I'm sure the middle school has they have a C team.
But they got one entrance out of that, correct?
I'm not sure.
I'm not.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess my expectation is you probably wouldn't see as many folks as you do at a River Bluff or Lexington high school game, so I don't know that you would be dealing with the traffic volume that you would expect there. So I think one may be sufficient. I want to ask just one question to somebody from Northside, and this is kind of a little off topic, but it's just something that as I was looking at your site plan and went to Google Earth, when you originally built the first part of your building and then you added some of the portable classrooms, those, my understanding is your indication to us was those were going to go away once the larger part of the building was built, and I notice it seems like that building's kind of almost been built around them.
Yeah, I think what's stated is we would love to get rid of those portables. We really would. But as the school and church continues to grow, we've just had to utilize those portables just for space. So we're still utilizing those portables.
Okay, but I think there were some exemptions given from architectural review standards based on the fact that maybe those were temporary. So I just, it was something that I just remember from discussion that I thought those would have been gone by now, but I get the growth issue. So I just wanted to clarify that and see where we were at.
Okay.
Any further question on the site plan? And one question I did want to ask. I noticed you've got a foot trail from the church back over to this area now. I guess there's a walking bridge or something. In the middle of this plan, there's something that says future road. Are you intending to build a road from here back over to the church? Okay, what is that in the middle, where the wetlands and the creek is at? There's something right there in the middle near soccer field number 1.
When that buffer down there along the stream was set up with the Corps of Engineers, and at that time, the church asked for a gap in that buffer so they could put a road across, I suppose. We have no plans for that now.
Okay.
Sewer runs through there, but it was an area that was set aside in case.
Okay, so it indicated future road. I wondered if you were going to put another bridge. That's not cheap. So, all right. Any other questions?
Does Randy?
Randy, they want to know if you have any thoughts or concerns.
They want to know my thoughts.
I think we do. If you have any, share them.
Please share them if you do.
The area is significantly already over capacity.
Come on. We want to see your beautiful face on TV.
Randy Edwards, Director of Transportation. The area that is the north side area is already significantly over capacity. And it's public knowledge that we are in process of making some road improvements, but we're not able to make all the road improvements that the traffic studies show that is necessary. And so the invitation for more and more and more traffic growth, to use their term, to just build, 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 without any consideration for what's going on around the site, to me is maybe short-sighted. So.
Does the fact, or I guess the understanding that most of these activities at this site will occur outside of the peak hours, school hours, when we have the most traffic congestion in that area, does that ease some of your concerns?
Certainly, but what keeps them from having a Thursday night event that then grossly impacts or lines right up with school events? And I mean, it's just, the study that we've done, very comprehensive study, shows that even road improvements are warranted at Northside and Jenny intersection. You know, how will those traffic, could be alleviated by a token improvement or something like that? I can't speak, to what their contribution would be. But we've already seen, when the school was permitted, Northside was built, there was a left turn lane, there was, at Northside and 378, there's a left turn lane at Northside and Jenny. But the study shows that we're already over those capacity, and anybody that drives through there knows that we're over capacity. So just puts us in a position as the church school, I should say, has continued to grow and meet, and continue to build for more capacity without any area improvements is just something that I think should be considered. And without any data to show what that impact is, there's no way to really say this is your contribution. And I understand what they're saying Saturday, which I think is the soccer event, which is off-peak, But again, you have a very nice facility that nothing stops you from having Friday at 4 o'clock events. So that's just my 2 cents.
Okay. All right.
I mean, to reiterate, a traffic impact studies focused specifically on Saturday would probably yield that their contribution would be nothing. You with me? But a complex like that with no contribution would, I mean, we're making major contributions to the area, as far as the town goes, to try and alleviate, and we're just adding on. So that's my concern, but finding a measurable, to actually say this would be your contribution.
Let me ask you a question. Have we approached, has the school district been approached about helping contribute, since they seem to be a significant portion of that?
Well, the school district is contributing to the
Okay.
Early Middle Gateway improvements.
Okay.
And the school district on their own is making improvements along Jenny Lane,
Okay.
you know, as they best see fit. So,
And it's a fair concern to raise then. I agree. I hear you.
And isn't this the same discussion we had when they built the church and the school originally? That, you know, we're a church, we're gonna be here on Sundays, and
Yeah.
that has not turned out to be the case.
you know, something to bring, you know, just as from a observation of traffic, especially since we've put the in-sync system in, you know, we've spent significantly more time at the north side and 378 intersection. And when both of these schools, the parent drop-off at north side and the parent drop-off at Meadow Glen, I mean, it is a
Nightmare.
a mess, a nightmare. You know, I mean, our traffic study shows that today we already warrant a double left coming out of the north side. I mean, that's, and there's no movement to make it that improved. And that's both the school and the church school colliding at the same time. You know, because anybody that drives out there knows you don't need a double left at 10 a.m. You know, nor at 7 p.m. You know, even the normal church traffic, it's fine, but it's those two schools colliding, you know, at the same peak hour. And so there's something that was not improved. So that's just, so again, looking at the whole area, we have on the books, the Jenny Lane project that is, hopefully will be coming to construction here shortly, you know, which will address the Jenny Lane 378 queue and back up. And obviously Northside will be the recipient of that, or a beneficiary of that work with no contribution.
When is that supposed to be finished?
Finished?
Done.
Finished hopefully in 2017. So, started and finished.
Okay.
Does that help?
It does. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. You want to-
Just let me address a couple of things. One is, I think we have to understand the property at Northside is developed in two separate pieces. And you know, one is the recreation fields, the other is the church. And we're not changing anything with the church. It's going to stay the same. It's the rec fields that we're looking at and for parking. But we've utilized the rec fields for 15 years now. We've had upward soccer and upward football, not quite 15 years for upward football, but we've had basically at the highest traffic areas, we've had that for 15 years. So really nothing has changed there. And I love to be compared to a large public school, but you know, people say, well, your school had so much traffic. We have 430 students in our school. I don't know how many are Meadow Glen and River Bluff and the others, but I don't know how much traffic we're actually contributing to it. It's flattering to be compared with those guys, but I don't know if it's a fair comparison.
All right. Now, but I'm assuming once you build nice new facilities such as baseball field and football field, I'm going to assume that your utilization of this area would increase as you build nicer facilities.
We hope so.
Okay.
But again, the highest traffic will be on Saturday mornings where we run an upward church league for soccer and football at different times. We're a SCISA A school. We play 8-man football. We play regulation baseball, but it's not like a Braves game.
Do you play any other day than Saturday?
What's that?
Do you play any other days than Saturday?
On Saturday morning is the only time that we play upward soccer and upward football.
What about the other events?
The baseball games would be through the week.
At this facility?
At the rec facility. But I think we understand that the baseball field may bring in, and I'm guessing here, 50 to 100 people. It's not going to be thousands. A football, a couple hundred people, not thousands. And that's at a peak time.
Are both of these fields proposed to be lighted?
Yes.
Okay, so most of your games will start later in the afternoon rather than
That's correct.
3:30, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I think we're regulated by SCISA. The games have to be because they will be coming from Spartanburg or Charleston or Myrtle Beach. Our games, it's either 7:30 or 7:45 on a Friday night.
Okay. Right. And have you guys done any type of traffic analysis or looked at numbers and impact? Right. Well, I hear folks saying, I think we may need to look at that. You know.
Based on that intersection of Jenny Lane and 378 and the congestion we already have there, and our staff's recommendation, I have to tend to agree with them. I do think we need to see some type of study to show what additional impact we're gonna have.
And again, I think if we're going to do that, providing some credence to what Randy said of looking at what impact you may add during those peak hours, not just, you know, your peak time, which may be Saturday mornings, but even if you're adding 200, you know, at 4 o'clock when school is in session and we're having that cross traffic, I think is the big, what we want to see, to provide us some aspect of, are there things that need to be done from road improvement standpoint as we start developing this project. So any further questions, discussions?
I mean, because do you practice are there practice times?
Yeah, they'll practice at 3:15, 3:30 every day during this specific season, but they won't park on the property. They'll just walk from the church to the rec fields.
You don't run bus service
We
at
do
your
not.
school, do you? Okay, so most kids have to come by car, parents, or either they drive themselves.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Any further questions or discussion? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the site plan as submitted.
All right. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
What?
A second.
All right. We have a second. Any further discussion?
Are we gonna give any consideration to our traffic?
We're not throwing that in.
Well, and I guess that's at this point, we have a motion to approve, which would lend me to believe that, you know, based on that motion, that a traffic impact study would not be necessary or required at this point. So that's the motion that we have on the table. Any further discussion?
Can I amend the motion to include traffic impact study? Can Jenny?
You could ask Jenny to
Yeah.
amend her motion, I guess, couldn't we, Brad? So, all right.
I mean,
Go ahead.
what?
I'm just wondering how quickly a traffic.
Well, and I guess that's my thing, is if we're gonna ask for a traffic impact study, we probably just need to ask for that and not do an approval or contingency. We just need to look at it, and then that way, when they come back, we can address whether there's any improvements that need to be made. So either I think if we're gonna move it forward, we just move it forward. If we're gonna ask for a traffic impact study, we ask for that and let them come back to us.
Okay, I can withdraw the motion at this time then.
All right, that motion is withdrawn. Any idea how long it would take you to do a traffic impact study for this area?
Probably a couple months.
A couple months?
Well, we have to initiate a firm to do that, and
Okay, I would figure, surely, and Randy, you tell me, surely somebody has a lot of traffic count numbers, since we're doing some work in that area, that I'm assuming is public information they could use? Okay, I mean,
We will share that information.
okay, which may speed that process up a good bit, so you don't have to sit out there and do traffic counts. Like I say, I think we've done a lot of work in that area to identify how much movement is occurring, which may help you. I think at that point, it's just adding in what you feel your numbers might be to that scenario.
It doesn't sound to me like, tell me if I'm wrong, or affecting any construction or any progress. It's that this is multiple phases, you're already working on the phases you want right now. You've got time to do this study, correct?
well, there is an issue with the football field location. We got it approved in a certain location, we'd like to move it in, and we have to because there's a buffer requirement along Jenny Lane. We can't have it where we originally proposed it, we've got to move it in. So we have to put that on hold for the traffic study. That issue is going to remain unresolved until the master plan's approved.
Okay.
But that's not what we want to do. The contractor's been trying to move continuously and all that.
Well, I mean, I guess this is what I'm trying to understand. This is the first time we've seen this, so you're talking about moving something from where you've already proposed. We haven't seen anything, so I guess we're at a disadvantage here. Your football field was not planned to be where you're showing here?
It's as on that drawing, yes. That's where we want it.
But that's phase 3.
No, that's the next phase.
Or phase 2.
We're ready to go.
But you haven't finished phase 1, but you're fixing to start phase 2.
Well, the baseball field's graded, it's being finalized.
Okay, all right. And okay, so you're, I guess, how big a concern is it, how big an issue is it gonna be if this comes back to us next month with the traffic impact study to look at? I mean, again, you guys have been proceeding along, I guess, what's the huge issue with, if you've already started building some stuff with building this?
That, your staff said, now you need a master plan. This is getting big enough. That's related to everything beyond baseball and football. So let me appeal in this regard. Require a traffic study, but not related to phase 1 and 2. Let it be a phase 3 issue.
Yeah, but phase 1 and 2 are where you're getting most of your fields and your usage in your baseball and football areas.
Well, now remember, soccer is...
The soccer's a Saturday morning sport. We're focusing on the impacts to Jenny Lane and Northside, and your contribution to that is going to be greatest during those school hours, those morning, afternoon hours. I get the Saturday morning, and I really don't think that's a huge concern. At least I haven't heard that that's a huge concern from this body. But the potential crossover and impacts during other times when you have school events and people traveling to the elementary and middle school are the concern. And so I think that, you know, it makes sense if the school district is putting money in and they're doing studies to improve traffic. The town is spending money to help alleviate traffic concerns. As your school, and I know you don't want to be compared to a large public school, but as your school or business expands and grows, I think it's only fair for you to at least go through the same exercise and determine what may be necessary and appropriate for your contribution. And I think we have to look at it that way. It's an impact, it's a business, whether it's nonprofit, it still has an impact, and we have to evaluate that. So again, I think that's appropriate. So any further questions? All right, do we have a motion or another motion?
Well, we have to make a motion then to deny the approval, right, until we see a traffic study, since they're not going to pull it.
I think we could make a motion to push this back to our next meeting until such time as we had the perfect traffic impact study. Right, Brad? We don't have to deny it.
Is that correct, Brad?
I mean, site plan doesn't have a time frame, does it? John?
It's 2 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 months.
It's 2 months?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we have time to table it to our next meeting until we get the appropriate information.
Then I make that motion to table it until we get the traffic study.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, and that is unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Again, we'll be here next month, so we look forward to seeing you guys back with some traffic impact information.
Can I ask
Work
a
with
question?
Randy and staff. They can get you count numbers and help you walk through that process.
So the process is put on hold until we do the traffic study?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, that concludes all of our business items for today. Anybody have anything further for the good of the commission? Frank, we have a traffic committee report.
Nothing of any major concern at this time.
Okay. All right. Anything else from Councilman? Fun? How are you?
I'm great.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. As always, thank you for what you do. Today was a fine example of how y'all look out for our community and our town and our citizens, so thank you for that. Got a couple of things going on. One is Coffee with the Cop. It's going to be this Friday. That would be my husband's birthday, February 24th, from 7:30 to 9:30 at the Chick-fil-A Saluda Point. So that's Coffee with the Cop. Also, the March for Meals campaign kickoff is Wednesday, March the 1st at 10:30 in our beautiful Ice House Amphitheater. So if you get an opportunity to go there, that would be great. And the second annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Carnival is Sunday, March the 12th at 3 p.m. That's going to be on Main Street and at the amphitheater. So if you have not seen our amphitheater, there's some good opportunities to go. And again, thank you for everything that y'all do.
All right, thank you. Anything else from any of the other departments? All right. Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second. All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, and we are adjourned. Thank you very much for watching the Town of Lexington Planning Commission in action. Again, this meeting was held at 8 a.m. Wednesday, the 22nd of February 2017. Will be aired several times throughout the week, and on behalf of the commission, I wish you a good day.